In today's video, we're going to talk about your website. And again, if you're just getting started, please don't feel like you need to make this complicated. Even just having a one-page website is going to be okay when you're first starting. You can build and expand it later. When you're first starting, you want to make sure that you have your business name the same across the board. So we've talked about this before. And if you look at my business, Fox Social Media, my website is foxsocialmedia.com. My username is Fox Social Media, all over social media. So we want to keep this consistent everywhere we go. So the first thing that I want you to do, if you haven't already got your website set up or you haven't already bought your domain name, is to go and buy that domain name. So your domain name is the www.foxsocialmedia.com, or fill in the blank with your business. The site that I love and that I use is GoDaddy. So it's GoDaddy.com. And this is where I buy all my domain names. Depending on your budget, sometimes I will buy a few versions of the domain name, just depending what the business is. For now, let's just get started with GoDaddy. So on GoDaddy, I want you to search for your domain name. Search for your business name. If you haven't already created your business name, this is a great way to get started. You want to see if the .com is available. If the .com is available, it's very likely that the name of your business is also available. Although that's something, there are legal ramifications to that. I'm not getting into the legal aspects because I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not any of those things. So, but when you go in there, that's the first thing you want to do is look for your business name with the .com. You also want to Google your business name and just see, is anyone else out there using it? So you want to be unique, and you don't want to infringe on anyone else's copyrighted name as well, or trademarked name. The next thing you need to do is have your domain name hosted. That means you have to have your website put on the internet and stored somewhere so that people can access it. There are a few hosting companies that I can recommend, and I use Bluehost. I've also used HostGator. So both of those work well. I think HostGator is the lesser of the cost. It has a lower cost than Bluehost, but those are two to check out. Again, that's not my area of expertise, so that isn't something I'm going to teach. But that's your next step, is to get it hosted. Now, if you don't have the budget to hire someone to create your website, you can do it in WordPress. I am so right-brained. If you made me do taxes, accounting, I literally wouldn't get through the first 5 minutes. My brain doesn't work that way. I hate it. I'm not technical at all, but WordPress is so easy now and so user-friendly that you can actually set up your own website in WordPress. And I did both of mine. Are they great and perfect and the most wonderful thing you've ever seen? No, but they work for me. And even if you go and look at Fox Social Media, I did that from start to finish myself. And I have a 6-figure business, so it's not like, again, it's going to depend on what your business is and how fancy, and, if you're in something where it's very visual, it's going to need to be a nicer website. But mine just has my information on it, and we can kind of talk about what you want on there as well. But again, it's something you can do. I'm not going to teach WordPress. That's not my area of expertise, but there are a lot of really good WordPress tutorials out there. And the best thing to do is really just to Google and say, what is the simplest one-page WordPress website to set up? I love WordPress. It's wordpress.org. It is completely free. You can buy upgrades. You don't need to. Upgrades to things like the theme that you use, and that's the overall look and design of the website. They've already got templates there, so you don't need to create that from scratch. You can also upgrade things like plugins, but you don't need to. So mine is completely free. As far as the design and the theme and all the components to it are completely free. So on WordPress, they also work super well with basically everything. So down the road, you might want a plugin. That's a little extra component that you can attach to your website to do a specific thing. Like there's a plugin called Woo, W-O-O Commerce, and that's kind of like a Shopify plugin where you got you're hooking your store up and your products, and people can buy them right through it. So WordPress is, I think, very easy. If you need to get a developer, some help down the road, there's a lot available. People understand this, and it's free, and it works with the vast majority of other programs and plugins that are out there that you might want to use in the future. So it's also probably one of the best for blogging. So I highly recommend WordPress. Also partial because I know how to use it. So that's a big thing too. So as far as the website itself goes, you're going to want to have a few components to the website. First is going to be your logo. And we've talked about this in the past. Your logo needs to be exactly the same on your website and all of your social media. It's essentially that little profile picture on social media. That needs to always be your logo, which is the same on your website. People should look at that and instantly relate to you. They should be able to find you on any platform you're on just with that one visual graphic. Now, as far as the logo goes, if you don't have the funds to pay somebody, I want you to go into a program called Canva, CANVA.com. Totally free. And this is the most awesome, wonderful program in the world for people who are not graphic designers. That happens to be another talent. I don't have it all. So you can go in there and all you do is choose the square box. You can pop a color in there. You can upload a design. You can change the text color, the text size, the text style. You can do quite a bit, and you can create your own graphic right in there. When I first started Fox Social Media, I made my own, and it's horrible. That being said, I started my company for dirt cheap. $7.99. Another story for another video. But I didn't have the money for all this stuff, so I created what I could and got started. And at the time when I first started, I was working for free for my son's former hockey coach who owned a gym. That was my only client. So I had zero income. So as you can tell, I was going to do this all for free. But anyway, so go into Canva and create that logo. Again, you're going to use that on your website and all over social media. The next thing you want to do is make sure that people understand what you do. So you want to have a tagline up above the fold. And when I say above the fold, if you go to a website and you click on that website and you don't scroll at all, just what you see in front of you is above the fold. Okay. So that means, whatever pops in front of people and they don't have to scroll to find it. So you're going to have some sort of an image and you're going to have your tagline. So, if I give you a tagline for this Simple Marketing Academy that you're in, Simple Marketing Academy helps very small business owners to learn how to successfully, simply, and cost-effectively market their own businesses in order to gain more customers and increase the revenue. That's a little lengthy, but when you go to my website and you read that, you're like, oh, I know exactly what this is for. So that somebody coming there can go, yep, this is for me. So run-on sentence a little too long, no problem here. You want to make sure that that person who sees it goes, yep, this is for me. I'm in the right place. And they're willing to scroll a little more. So those are the two things you need first. The next thing you want to have is a little bit of information about your products and services. Drill down a little deeper. What do you do? So, in my case, I'm going to talk about Simple Marketing Academy has several components to it. One is a course component, and that is the visual training. It's all video training, step by step, to walk you through the process of setting up and executing your marketing strategy and plan. The next is a community where other like-minded small business owners who are working on learning their marketing can join in all together and chat and share ideas and share success stories. The next component is our Q&A calls. So we have weekly Q&A calls so that if a question comes up or something comes up or you're stuck, you can jump on this Zoom call and ask me a question. I can answer it right then and there for you. So you want to explain that simply, kind of give an overview. Next thing you want to do on here is talk a little bit about you, and you don't have to have like pages about you, but basically, why are you qualified to do this? Why do you want to do this? Why should I come to you to do this? And so for me, I would say, I created my own 6-figure business. I did it 10 years ago from scratch, and I started with $7.99. I set it up completely myself. I run it. I market it myself. And I have been successfully marketing small businesses in multiple different industries for over 10 years. And the reason I created this was because I found that there were a lot of small business owners who were brilliant, who had tons of life experience, who had amazing products and services, but were being held back by not knowing how to market and not being able to afford an agency like Fox Social Media, which I totally understand. So I wanted to create this to teach all of that and to enable people to have that one last skill they were missing, that last thing they needed to run their business successfully. And I really love teaching and I love helping others. And so those were my motivations and why I'm qualified. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to have your contact information. If you have a phone number, your email address, you want to have all the links to your social media down there as well. So that's all you need to get started. It doesn't have to be fancy. Once again, logo, tagline, short description of your products and services, short description of you, why you're qualified to do this, why you're passionate about it, why you want to do it, your contact information, and your social media logos. That's all you need on that one-page website.